Imagine traveling 400,000 kilometers into the silent abyss of space, landing on a rock where no human has ever stood, only to realize you've snapped the only key that takes you home. On July 20th, 1969, the Apollo 11 mission didn't just make history, it almost became a permanent lunar memorial. As Buzz Aldrin moved within the cramped, walk-in closet-sized cabin, his bulky life support backpack brushed against the control panel. He looked down and saw the nightmare. The ascent engine arming switch was snapped clean off. They were 250,000 miles from the nearest hardware store with no way to turn the engine on. Without that piece of plastic, they were stranded, destined to rest in peace on a gray graveyard. Today, in 2026, conspiracy theorists claim the whole thing was a Hollywood farce. But the real technical gore, the fact that the module was made of aluminum foil and saved by a felt-tip pen, proves reality was far more terrifying than a movie set. The Saturn V meat grinder is next. Apollo 11 was the ultimate mainline battle of the Cold War. To beat the Soviets, NASA built the Saturn V, a 3-million kg tower of kerosene and liquid hydrogen. The acoustics of the launch were so violent they could literally melt concrete at the pad. This wasn't a sleek, sci-fi spaceship. The Lunar Module, or the Eagle, was built for weight, not strength. Its outer skin was so thin, essentially thick aluminum foil, that a misplaced screwdriver could have punctured the hull and vented their oxygen into the vacuum. They weren't flying a tank. They were flying a pressurized soda, akin to the deadliest environment known to man. The landing was a total snafu. At 8:10 p.m., as they descended toward the surface, the computer threw a 12:01 and 12:02 alarm. The guidance computer, which had less processing power than a modern 2026 digital watch, was overloading. Mission Control told them to ignore it and keep going. At 150 meters, Neil Armstrong saw the automatic landing system was heading straight for a field of massive boulders. He took manual control, burning fuel at a terrifying rate. When they finally touched down at Tranquility Base, they had exactly 30 seconds of fuel remaining. It was the ultimate find-out moment for aerospace engineering. After the moonwalk, they faced the broken switch. They were zeroed out. But Buzz Aldrin pulled a pro-gamer move. He realized that a switch is just a bridge for an electrical circuit. He needed something non-conductive to jam into the slot, so he wouldn't short-circuit the whole ship. He used a Duro felt-tip pen. He jammed the plastic casing into the circuit breaker, completing the connection. A piece of office stationery was the only thing standing between a safe return and a zinc coffin future on the moon. This is an untold reality. The world's most expensive mission was saved by a $1 pen. Conspiracy theorists love to talk about the fluttering flag. But here's the technical gore. The flag fluttered only when the astronauts were physically twisting the pole into the lunar soil. Visual, vacuum vibration simulation, how energy travels without air. In the vacuum of space, there is no air resistance to stop the motion. The vibrations from their hands traveled through the aluminum rod and lasted for minutes, looking like wind to the untrained eye. As for the shadows, the moon's surface is a massive, uneven reflector. Light scatters in bizarre angles that number 1960's Hollywood studio could replicate. If the U.S. had faked it, the Soviets, who were tracking every signal from the moon, would have been the first to call cap. Apollo 11 proved that the line between a hero and a zinc coffin is often just a piece of plastic. We went to the moon to win a war of pride, and we stayed alive through pure grit and felt-tip pens. As we head into the 2026 Artemis missions, the tech has changed, but the vacuum of space is still just as unforgiving. The space race is back on, and the stakes are higher than ever. This is the Origin Untold. If you want to see the $2 billion ghost that uses the same aerospace DNA to stay invisible in our own atmosphere, check out our deep dive on the B-2 Spirit bomber. And for the absolute resolve currently shaking the globe, watch our Venezuela report. Join the inner circle. Hit subscribe.